Okay, so the voice actor situation has been pretty crazy over the past couple of days. Now, if you don't know, Kaylee Mills is one of the big components to a lot of this. Obviously, Karina has been a massive part of it, but recently Karina has been very, very silent on this entire situation, which I think is very funny, especially seeing as how kind of involved they were with a lot of the kind of strike stuff, and now all of a sudden they've been replaced. They don't want to talk about it anymore. They just want to talk about political stuff and everything like that, and they just go and do pretty much anything else but attacking the community, which honestly I think might actually be better for them, and if they kind of stick to that stuff. But it is kind of funny to see how silent they've gone, especially how loud they were during a lot of these strikes and during whenever the strikes were going on. And it seems like those strikes kind of gave them the power to kind of speak up with that kind of stuff, and now they can't do it anymore, so they just don't, which I think is hilarious. But essentially as well with Kaylee Mills, as I said, she's also one of the other big reasons as to why a lot of people were fed up of these voice actors, and as to why a lot of them had ruined their kind of, I guess, reputation, and a lot of their, they've pretty much implanted a massive, brand on themselves for like, this guy crushes out on Twitter quite a lot. This guy, is a common person that is not very nice to work with. The same with Karina, and obviously, yeah, Kaylee is also the case. And, well, it's gotten even worse for them, as there's been a Wikipedia page about Kaylee Mills. If you don't know, she has one, where essentially it names all of her stuff. But as you can see down here, there's actually a nice little part, a nice little segment, which is actually bigger than her actual just like personal segment, which says SAG-AFTRA Controversy. And it pretty much outlines everything about Kaylee Mills here. They say, on March 26th, 2025, Hoyoverse announced that the English voice actor for Genshin Impact would be changed to John Patnarodo. Sorry if I said that wrong. I'm not very good with names. To Jacob Takanashi. Following Takanashi's self-announcement, Mills, along with several other voice actors, heavily criticized him for replacing them, with her writing that Takanashi's tweet was diabolical and that he should have taken the role uncredited. Following this, Mills claimed that Takanashi had not extensively worked on voice acting prior to the role of taking Kinich and was living off his wife, a claim that she later walked back on. In May, Mills released a statement detailing the reasons why voice actors are refusing to work in non-union video games, as well as why some voice actors are still working. Mills ended the statement by asking the community to keep supporting the striking actors and to, at the very least, try to see us being humans. In June, Hoyoverse announced the recasting of Mills for the role for Keqing, sorry. And obviously, yeah, I think that's very funny because, people were saying that, this isn't going to have any effect on their careers or anything by them striking. Meanwhile, us over here were like, this is going to have a very, very big effect on their careers, and it's not going to be good for them at all. And this is one of the cases of this happening. They're infinitely going to be followed around by this SAG-AFTRA controversy now, which is obviously going to not help them whenever it comes to finding new jobs. One quick look at a Wikipedia search here can show you the kind of controversy she's been in, which obviously is going to, a lot of people are going to look at, especially future employers and future people that are planning on him, kind of using her for voice acting or whatever. It's not going to be good for the future. And the same goes for Karina as well, and any of the other voice actors who have been outspoken about this kind of stuff. And I think it's kind of funny to see that now that this strike stuff has gone, come to an end, they finally realized the consequence of their actions and the consequence of bullying other voice actors over online, which I think is just horrible. I think, it's not a good thing to be bullying those fellow voice actors. And it seems like it still hasn't ended there as well, which we will get into. But again, as I said, they are now forever following with that mark being like, hey, you are part of this. You did all of this stuff to these people. It's, pretty terrible. But yeah, by what I mean by it still is, going on, it seems like they're now attacking the new Keqing voice actor, which I saw from a new Paper Bag Boy thing which came out, so thank you for this information. And obviously they say, oh my god, the new Keqing's voice actor has leaked for Genshin Impact and is terrible. Link is not a joke. That's pathetic. And they say, dear Donut Gremlin, which is Kaylee Mills, please come back and rescue Keqing, which is pretty crazy, And obviously this is a big reason as to why Hoyoverse kept these voice actors anonymous. If you don't know, the new voice actor for Paimon, for Keqing, completely anonymous. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they've come from. We don't know what experience they've got. We don't know how big they are. we don't know anything. And I think, that is probably one of the ways they're going to keep it for a very long time, if not for the entirety of Genshin Impact as a whole. I feel like, they probably aren't going to release it due to people like this who are very, very quick to go and attack them, and for what happened with Jacob Takanashi before. Now, maybe some of these voice actors might feel comfortable to come out and say that they are, the voice actor of one of these characters, and maybe that could be more of a personal decision to do, but obviously we're already starting to see people attacking them despite them not even knowing who this person is, which I think is pretty crazy. And I think it's crazy to attack someone you don't even know. You don't know who they are, you don't know, you know what they sound like, kind of, in a acting sense, but that's about it. You don't know who they are at all, and you're already attacking them just because they replaced your favorite voice actor. And I think that is the mentality that a lot of these people have at the moment, especially during this entire drama with Kinich, and obviously we've seen it with other voice actors too, of them being bullied and people harassing them, either publicly on Bluesky or on Twitter, or behind the scenes in a Discord chat, which obviously was leaked by Mujin, and that's by other voice actors, by the way. Like, the kind of harassment towards a lot of the other voice actors, for example, like Venti's voice actor, Risley's voice actor, they were all talking bad about them in this one Discord server, which Mujin exposed. And obviously, it seems like, it just doesn't end. There's this constant, kind of, I guess, feeling of people talking behind each other's backs, and also, these fans actively trying to harass and bully these people who they don't even know. Obviously, people saying in the comments here, honestly, it's not bad, it's not perfect, but it's pretty decent. It said, Jesus, it said, it's so awful, by far the worst downgrade in all of Hoyoverse recasts. Did they just pick another UK voice actor and then force them to try and speak an American accent again? It said, it sure sounds like it. Both Escoffia and now Keqing really don't know how to suppress an accent, and the fact that they've been deemed acceptable takes it really indicative of what's to come to side. Which, again, I mean, you can kind of argue the fact about, oh, they're getting British voice actors to try put on American, accents or whatever, and maybe the voice actor isn't very good at it. But the fact is, why are we even in the UK in the first place? Let's just take a think here. Well, it's because of all the SAG-AFTRA stuff that's been going on, and the amount that, these voice actors have been not turning up to work. It's kind of like a forced move from Hoyoverse here to move over to the UK and look at places like that. Because, again, it's better to have someone who's doing a bad accent than to have someone who's not working at all and potentially couldn't work in the future, leaving your game completely mute and useless, which, again, I honestly think, it's, eyeing things up. It's honestly better to take this British kind of deal and just kind of move forward with that, because, again, you're not going to have any issues with that. So again, it's more of, these voice actors' faults than anybody else's faults. It's not really Hoyoverse's fault, because they've been forced to make this. If this strike didn't happen, if this refusal to work didn't happen, well, Hoyoverse wouldn't be in the UK in the first place. They would still be in America, hiring American voice actors, but that's not the case, because, obviously they had to go ahead and just not turn up to work. Obviously, they say it is pretty clear that their only intent is to hire UK voice actors due to the fact that striking is not legally protected in the UK. If they authentically wanted to hire talents in the UK, then they would not be forcing them to suppress their accents to sound more American. They said, I believe up to now, they've just wanted all characters to have the most transatlantic American voice for consistency, as it's the most default sounding to non-English native speakers. If we started hearing different accents in 6.0 though, then the direction is shifted. Said even Reverse 1999 had better voice acting since it was intended that the characters have unique accents. Hiring a UK voice actor just to do a transatlantic American accent is so off-putting, it will put pressure on the actors themselves. I don't think it will. They've taken the job. I mean, saying that it's going to put pressure on the voice actor to do their job is so dumb. I mean, bro, don't put pressure on the voice actors. You're asking them to, put on an American accent, which they obviously signed their contract for, and they knew what they were getting into whenever they signed up to this. Oh my god, they're putting so much pressure on these voice actors. Like, bro, shut up. It's like, let's be real. They know whenever they take the job that they're like, hey, we're going to want you to do an American accent. We're going to have to want you to put that on. Are you able to do that? Are you comfortable doing that? And they'll go, yeah, no. Obviously, most, 9 out of 10 times it'd probably be yeah, because it's such a big game that, you wouldn't really want to miss out on an opportunity like that. But kind of saying that it'll put pressure on them is so dumb. I mean, they know what they're doing. It's literally their job. And if you're saying, oh, it's you're putting pressure on them for trying to be a character, and oh my god, like, why are they doing it? Like, bro, come on. It's like, oh, okay, so apparently, it's putting pressure on voice actors to act now. Like, huh? Obviously, this is the same person as well, this Mark Lawson guy. He's also reposted that tweet that we looked at the other day of them calling YouTubers who cover this and who are against the voice actors, for example, like Karina and Kaylee, calling them far right, which obviously, kind of shows you their opinions here on this kind of stuff. But I thought it was kind of funny to see, as, you know, it did pop up in a video that I saw from Paper Bag Boy, which I thought was extremely funny. And it kind of, that comment about, you know, putting pressure on voice actors for doing the job, I thought it was kind of crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much an update for now. It seems like Kaylee Mills, might be losing out on a couple other jobs as well. Same with Karina there, as Karina hasn't really announced any new jobs that have been going on recently. And yeah, it seems like this page over on Wikipedia isn't going to help them either, with them covering everything to do with the SAG-AFTRA controversy and keeping them held accountable, which I think is great. And hopefully we can see more of that for some of the other voice actors that were involved as well. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, I'm very interested in what you guys have to say. And yeah, go to GameStop, use my code CASA, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.